portrait photographer in the Charlotte area, and I am here today to talk to you about taking good pictures of children. Children can be very challenging to take photos of. I have two of my own, and I often tell people that I have more good photos of other people's children and other people's family than I have of my own. Luck would have it, as a photographer, I do not have very willing participant children, but I have learned some tricks over the years in order to capture some good images of them, regardless of their attitudes about being photographed. So I wanted to share some of these with you. These are good for photographers, but also good for moms who just want to take decent pictures of their kids. I'm not going to get into too many technical things about how to work your camera. This is more about just how to get and sneak those images of your children. One of the things as a mother that I always keep in mind is if I am hoping to get good photographs of my children, my camera needs to be accessible and ready and charged and have the right lens. So if I know that I want to get a few pictures, I always keep it ready to go in my office so that I can easily grab it when one of those moments just happens to pop up. I also try not to let my children see my camera. I sneak pictures all the time. If they see me come out with my big camera or even my iPhone these days, they roll their eyes, they huff and they puff, they turn the other directions, they stick out their tongues, they make faces. But if they are in the middle of doing something cute or something fun and I sneak pictures, they have no idea. Or they know after the fact and it's too late because I've already caught their photos. It's okay if the kids are not looking at the camera. You know, that seems to be a lot of people want those perfect posed photographs where everybody's happy and smiling. But honestly, is that real life? You want to capture your kids doing what they do, and they don't always have to be looking at the camera for those pictures to work out. Another tip is to get on their level. Little kids, we often have pictures. I know my childhood photos are all like me from bird's eye view because I was tiny and the adults were big. Get down on the ground. I often lay on the ground, lay in the grass, lay on the floor to get right on their level, especially when they were babies or toddlers, to get those cute little crawling pictures or toddlers playing with their blocks and toys. Get right down on the ground with them and get at eye level. That gives a whole different perspective and makes it more like a childhood portrait versus a mom just taking a picture of their kid playing on the floor. So get down on their level and just let your kids be themselves. Don't force them into poses that they don't want to be in. Don't make them look at you and smile. You know, we all want those perfect little pictures of toddlers sitting and smiling, but they're not going to do that all the time. Toddlers have minds of their own. They're developing those minds. So capture them at play. Capture them in moments of engagement with others or toys or pets. You don't have to get them to do something that they typically wouldn't do because that's not reality. Another really good trick is to show children pictures of themselves on the back of your camera. If you have a DSLR that has a little LCD screen or your screen to show the images, show them the pictures. They often get really curious or they want to see how a camera works. Show them, safely. Don't give a 2-year-old your big camera, but I have often passed my camera over to a 5 or 6-year-old during a session and wrapped the strap around their neck, show them how it works, get them engaged in the process, and they will be a little more engaged for your photos. Then you can show them what it looks like on the back of your camera. If you do need children to pose and smile, bribery is always helpful. Smarties are handy, sweet tarts, gummies, things that do not turn their teeth green. I once had a family portrait session and the parents brought a candy cane, but they brought those colored candy canes and their kid's mouth turned green or blue. I can't remember which color because it was the wrong kind of candy cane. So half the photos, they bribed the child. The child cooperated for the pictures, but then their face was blue from all of the candy. So bring something you can bring, if you're doing a family shoot or if you're just in your home, bribe your kids. It never hurts to do that just for a few minutes. Make silly faces with them. I am often making silly faces, talking, saying weird stuff to get them to laugh. I love doing silly face photos when kids are in sessions or even at home and they're tired and they don't want to, I'm just like, stick your tongue out at me. Make the worst face that you can. Give me your best angry face. Engaging with them, and then sometimes genuine laughter follows all of the silly faces, and then you capture some really good images and talking with them the whole time. It shouldn't be a silent game unless you're sneaking, like I often do. But if you're trying to take pictures of kids that know you're taking pictures of them, talk with them, ask them questions, get them in the mood. If they are not looking in the right direction and you need to capture their attention, say something that catches their attention. I often have a big messy bun on the top of my head when I'm doing photos for people, and I'll say, is that a bird? There's a bird on my head, or is that a squirrel? And it catches kids so off guard, and they look at me and they're like, oh, what? And then I get some interesting reactions there. You can also use with boys. Boys are not always, I have two of them. They're not always the easiest to photograph. Potty talk. Not dirty, but like, ew, did somebody fart? And then they giggle, and then you get a genuine reaction out of them. So that's, talking with them, ask them what their favorite characters are, ask them what their favorite songs are. Just get to know them, engage them, and then you get more genuine reactions out of them when you're trying to take those photos. If you have pets, those are great opportunities to take pictures of your children playing with their pets. Another opportunity is to take pictures of your kids playing with their friends. They're going to be more genuinely happy when they are engaging with their peers, when they are just in the act of doing something with their siblings, with their friends, and not necessarily focused on what you are doing. So capture those opportunities, capture those moments. And then those will be really cherished memories of them with their friends, growing up, different friendships and different people, different siblings, cousins, things like that. A couple of technical tips for those of you who are learning photography or photographers who want to know how to best capture those images of children technically. One of my tips is to use continuous mode. Use so that when you hold down your shutter, it constantly takes pictures, and take a lot of pictures. Those pictures you sometimes capture a whole series, but there might be one in there with that perfect face. Or you could capture a whole series of really hilarious photos and different expressions. Children have so many different expressions. So keeping your camera on that continuous mode can be really helpful. And then make sure your shutter speed is high enough. Kids are fast. I always keep my shutter speed at a minimum of 250, sometimes a little higher if they're running. And then, of course, adjust everything for that because you want to capture that action. You want to, blurry pictures are okay, but to capture those freeze frame images of the kids and their genuine expressions and faces in motion, it makes a world of difference. So make sure your shutter speed is fast enough to capture those motion photos. One last thing, hire a photographer. If your kids do not cooperate for you, they will often cooperate for somebody else for a short time. I know some of the better pictures I've had of families have come from actual photographers that I've hired as a photographer. Just because I'm a photographer does not exempt me from hiring other professional photographers to photograph my family. As many times as I capture them in the action at the house, there is just something about those nice family portraits, and they don't cooperate for me because I'm their mama, but they might cooperate for someone else. So keep that in mind if you are trying to capture, a good family portrait for a Christmas card or for a gift or to mount on your wall, to hang on your wall. Hire a photographer. One last thing, let's normalize real life over always having to be Insta worthy. capture your kids doing everything. The little moments, the messy moments, the angry moments, the happy moments. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. And we need to stop pretending that everyone's life is perfect. Capture all of the moments, because those are going to be the memories that you treasure. I am going to follow this up in a couple of weeks with another video about tips and tricks for family sessions, for those actual family sessions where you have a photographer and you are trying to capture those perfect pictures of your family. This will be geared towards the family and the photographer. So stay tuned for that. And hopefully you've learned something today that will help you take better pictures of your kids. Please like, comment, drop me a question if you have anything that you would like to see me produce content about, and subscribe. I would love that. And have a wonderful day. Take lots of pictures of your families.